Macmillan Audio presents The Girl from Berlin by Ronald H. Balson. Read for you by Fred Berman. Chapter 1. Pienza, Italy, July 2017. The silver Alfa Romeo kicked up a tail of dust as it traveled the road between Montalcino and Montepulciano. The brilliant afternoon sun baked the rolling landscape of the Tuscan hills and forced Lorenzo to squint. It had been hot and dry for the past 10 days, and in the struggle for Lorenzo's comfort, the Alfa's air conditioning was inadequate. He stopped briefly in the little town of Pienza for a cold soda before heading south into the countryside. To be frank, the weather wasn't the only unpleasant aspect of this day's assignment. On the passenger seat, in his attaché case, lay a court order. Lorenzo Lenzini, avvocato, was headed to the Villa Vincenzo to serve an eviction. It wasn't that he minded dispossessing a resident. Goodness knows he'd done that 1,000 times. And it wasn't that she was elderly and in failing health, for Lorenzo had no feelings for her one way or another. It was the universal support that this perverse woman had somehow managed to rally from the local populace that unsettled him. His obligations to his client had backed him into a corner. Now he was forced to play the role of a heartless villain, and while it didn't bother him personally, he felt sure it would affect him professionally in the province of Siena. The old stone villa was perched on a pleasant hill above groves of olive trees and rows of grapevines heavily laden with the season's crop. Well-tended flower gardens lined the perimeter of the structure. The villa was typical of Tuscan architecture: oatmeal-colored stone exterior, seasoned oak beams beneath a roof of overlapping terracotta half-pipes, flower boxes under the windows, all in the Etruscan fashion. To Lorenzo's way of thinking, nothing exceptional. Seen one? You've seen them all. The lawyer parked his car, grabbed his attaché case, placed his Borsalino Panama hat squarely on his head, straightened the lapels of his cream-colored suit, puffed his chest out, and strode purposefully up the stairs of the veranda and directly to the villa's front door, there to confront the intransigent Signor Vincenzo. Before knocking, he paused to take in the surrounding landscape, the green and cappuccino pastels of the richest vineyards in the world. In all directions, as far as he could see, the land was owned by his client, Vinco S.p.A., one of Italy's largest wine producers. In all directions, that is, except for the land he was standing on. Villa Vincenzo was a rogue island in the sea of Vinco's vineyards, a trespasser. Lorenzo, on behalf of his client, had tried for months to persuade Signor Vincenzo to sell. It was an inconvenience for his client to farm around this obtrusive appendage. Villa Vincenzo was an aberration in the midst of Vinco's perfectly contiguous rows of Sangiovese, Merlot, and Cabernet. It was a break in symmetry. It had to go. Lorenzo had conveyed Vinco's offers to Signor Vincenzo on a dozen occasions, and they were more than fair: a cost-free relocation to a lovely rental home in the village, and a cash bonus. She was foolish to turn them down. In truth, Vinco didn't have to offer a damn thing. Vinco owned the land. It seemed to Lorenzo that Signor Vincenzo had some unnatural and unreasonable attachment to the property. How could this commonplace parcel of property have such a strong hold on such a sick old lady? She wouldn't take the offer, so now she'd forced his hand. The legal steps had all been taken, the court order had been issued, and the obstinate Signor Vincenzo would have 60 days to vacate. Sorry, but that's the way it goes.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?